Hey everyone. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I'm late. I postponed this from this morning and then Amazon didn't deliver my printer paper, and then I had trouble signing in to YouTube. So I'm excited to scrap tonight our family vacation. I just returned from a week in Provincetown, Massachusetts, which is we go every year, and we had a lovely time. All of my kids were there, and I got some really great photos. So I'm going to attempt to scrap some of them. I don't have them all printed, so we'll see what we can do tonight. Let me switch the camera. There. Okay, if you're new to my channel, you can sign up for my newsletter here. And if you have any questions about anything you see tonight, please email me at kathy@backyardstamper.com. And if you like any of the products I use tonight, my Stampin' Up store is kathyschmitt.stampinup.net. Okay, let me put this aside and make sure I am on my... So what I did was I scrapped, I signed up and made a YouTube posting on the wrong YouTube account. So that's why I was having trouble. So, hey, yay, Debbie and Cindy. Thank you guys for hanging out. I had some trouble getting signed on. So, yay. Okay, so tonight we're going to be scrapping using the Waterside, Relaxing Waterside, and also Sunset Coast. And I know I have more die cutting to do with these stamp sets, but the big thing I wanted to show you is the paper. Let me get my paper. Silly me, put it away. Okay, so I'm going to be using the DSP called Waterside Retreat to create my pages. So I have 2 or 3 in mind, and let me just cut these so you can see what the papers look like. I have a little 6x6 cheat sheet here, but it's downstairs. So I'm kind of winging it because I just discovered I can print my own photos using the printer that I have. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to invest in a new printer. So here is the paper. You've got life jackets and stripes. This is great. It's wood plank and some buoys. Here's some nice green plaid and seagulls. More seagulls, but muted, which I like that. Some bicycles, some water, which I've got ready to go, and fish, and some blue Misty Moonlight striped paper, and these cut-aparts. So I've got a little bowl of cut-aparts that I thought would go with the ocean, because that's where we were, and we'll see. I see right away my water's upside down. Okay, let me move my mouse out of the way. So what I have here is I have 2 12x12 Misty Moonlights, two-tone, and then I have 2 with white willows, and they measure 11.5 by 11, so 11.5 by 11. And so I'm going to make mirror image pages. So let me just, looks like one's a little slightly longer than the other. Let me just trim this. Oh, there's another doodad. So I was looking for all around, because I used to have Season of Chic, which has beautiful netting and shells, and I sold that. So I was like, oh no, what am I going to use? Well, Scenic Coast and Waterside retreat came to the rescue. I'm going to be using quite a few of the Scenic Coast ones. There, that should match up. And it does. Okay, let me go ahead and add some adhesive. I don't even know where my adhesive is. Can you believe that? If you saw my desk, I don't know, my desk just keeps getting smaller and smaller. Let me grab a tape. I didn't bring any on vacation, but I did spend some time getting some YouTube caught up and some napping, lots of napping, because you know that's what vacations are for. Okay, so let me just tack down my white. So, and I will tell you about printing my photos. So I was watching Erin Jacobson, who is an avid scrapbooker, and she had some really great tips on printing your photos. So I said, I didn't know I could do that. So I hurried up and I ordered my photo paper that she recommended, and I'll show you that here in just 1 second. Let me just get these two so then my pages will stay together. When I was watching Erin and some others on her team or her design team, they all did this the same way. They laid out their 2 pages side by side and had them butt up in the middle. So you're always working on the 2-page layouts, which is great. Okay, so I can see my page, and then I wanted some water. I made a little boo-boo and I cut this too short, so I just put some Scotch tape on the back, and that's going to work fine because I'm going to have a photo there pretty close to the edge. This is two-tone crumb cake, and see, I did the same thing. I don't know, I was rushing and forgot how to do it. So I tore my two-tone cardstock crumb cake, and I really liked it with the white. It's kind of weird because the sandwood doesn't have white, but it does have a lot of design. Okay, so I'm going to do something like this and have my water come in like that, and do the same thing on this page. Luckily, I only cut one of them before I realized my mistake. Because it's 11.5 by 11, I thought it was 10.5. So that's where I made my mistake. Okay, so it's going to kind of look like this. So you're kind of already feeling the beach vibe, huh? Okay, so now what I wanted to do is, so I've got, we're at the beach and I've got lots of sand pictures, but I also have lots of people pictures. So this was a sunrise. Have to get up pretty early. Actually, I'm going to use this one because it shows more of the pier than this one. And so I've got like some beach scene pictures. Then I have some people pictures. My daughter's dog was the star. So I've got these pictures here are for walking on the rocks. So I want to keep those separate. And then I have some I have to trim down. So my daughter had to get up on the roof of the car to untie our kayaks. Here's a bunch of people pictures. And see, these printed pretty nice with my, I just got to trim them down. Okay, and this is a rock picture. And then we had lobster. This is on the rocks. Here's my pier. And I've got doubles here. Okay. So for this one, I also have a picture of us kayaking, which I didn't get a chance to print out. So I'm just going to kind of lay out what I am thinking and cutting these down at the same time. So I have a Canon multi-tank or gigantic tank. I forget what it's called exactly, but it's a G7000 series is what it is. And that has the big bottles of ink, so I get thousands of prints before I have to refill. I had a brother before that it seemed like if you blink, it was saying I was out and I needed a new cartridge. And I just was tired of dealing with that. So I got this Canon one, and then I realized after watching Aaron that I have an app on my phone which will let you print. So once I realized that, so they're out on the flats. The tide goes in and out where we are. And so they all decided to stop and wave. So there they are waving at me. I was up on the deck and the dog's having fun running around. So I love that. This one's a little closer, but not everybody's waving. So I like that you can see. So it's the tip of the cape. So it goes all the way around like this. Here's the tip. And we're on this side of the tip looking back here. So this, all of this area is the bay. So there's the very tip. There's a lighthouse very tip. So we're looking back this way. So it's really pretty neat. We go to the same place every year, and it's just a slice of heaven. Okay, so now let me see here. I've got a bunch of people pictures. And this is the first time my two daughters, I have a picture of them in probably 20 years together, just them. I mean, I have family photos, obviously, but, and let's see here. There's Marty and me. So we've got these here. So the one thing I like about the way Erin does her pages is she puts a lot of photos on, and I always have a lot of photos. So I am excited to see how someone else adds all the photos too. Okay, so if I do something like that, I need my son in there. Well, this is Heidi and her. I guess you don't need me in every picture. It's a good picture though. Let's see here. I think I like this one. And then I can put this skinny photo there. Oh, I got two of Heidi. Okay, we'll switch and do it like that. There. And then I've got these, and then I have my son's eating lobster. And I think that I am going to do something like that. So this will be where my title is, and I want to add a little bit of blending up here. So I'm just going to get my my blending brushes. And I've got a blue one and I've got a gray one for later. So I'm gonna do some balmy blue. And I'm just going to, now I haven't adhered my water, so I can slide this down. So I have my bigger area. Let me get a scrap paper here. So I hope you guys had a nice weekend. So I just want to like kind of do enough to maybe take away some of that white. So that's all I need there. I'm going to close this up. So if I'm going to do, so I'm going to have my title. Let me bring this back up. Probably should have gone up a little higher. Let's see. Still had some ink on my blending brush. That's always handy. All right. So just like that. Okay. So, and then the other thing I want to do is I want to speckle my sand. And I can do that a couple different ways. I can use my pecan pie. And I can also sponge it on. So let me, so I'm just adding some speckles. This little, this stamp here came from a different set. It came from Watch Me Grow and Help Me Grow. It's this little dirt speck there. And there's a couple of other ones that also have the speckles. Okay, so just enough to give it a little oomph. A little oomph. How many of you like to either sponge or stamp to take up some of your, to give some depth to your cardstock? It's something that shouldn't be overlooked, even though I am very guilty of that. Yes, I was missing that pecan pie. I would have had to use my spot, which would not have been fun on a big 12 by 12. I'm just cleaning off my stamp because, and maybe my fingers too. Okay, and then I want to take my blending brush. Let me get the one I have for brown. I had them color coded with this little thing here, and then a lot of them fell off, so I just did it the old-fashioned way. And where did my little piece of paper go? Well, I gotta open a new, or fold a new piece. Okay. That's really dark, so I'm just going to swirl on some color. Whoops. I think what I'm going to do is put this here. Well, since I did it that heavy along the bottom, I'm going to just do it all the way across. Okay, so I've got that. This one's going to go behind, so I don't really think I need to do that one. So let me just do this bottom one real quick. Oh, I just did the same thing. I've got to blotch it off because this pecan pie is so dark. And the two-tone cardstock, the ink, even though it doesn't absorb just like our milled cardstock, it once you get it down, you really can't fix your bubble. So I'm just gonna darken it next to it so it looks like I meant to do that. Okay, there's my two sponging or blending. Let me put that there in case I need it again. Let me just wipe my fingers off. So one thing I learned from watching Erin's video is she uses glossy cardstock or glossy photo paper, and when I print my photos or even get them developed, I always select matte. And that's because when my kids were little, and even, you know, people do it now, they tend to touch the photos, and glossy cardstock, you can pick up fingerprints. All right, so I think I am ready to stick this down. I need to do this first though, because I got to see how high up to go with my sand so my water is not floating in the sky. Okay, so something like that, and then I can put this behind it. Remember when we had creamy caramel and it was perfect for beach scenes? Okay, that one's sticking a little bit. Sorry. Trying to, when I tore it, I went downhill, so I had like a little spot there. Okay, and then my water can go tuck right under it. Before I tape that down, let me do the other side to make sure that there's not going to be any issues. This is honestly the first time I have ever come back from vacation and the next day sit down and scrapbook. I just don't do that, you know. And I got a bubble there. You know, last time I was on here, I was scrapping 2018, so I fall behind quite easily. Okay, so we'll tuck this one down, and hopefully they are going to about be even. Let's see here. Yes, that looks pretty darn good, doesn't it? I like it with the white torn at the top. And I didn't even sponge that. It just kind of, I don't know, feels beachy. Beachy to me. Okay, let me push my pictures up a little. And we will tuck this in. Okay, let's see here. That's got to go down quite a bit. The one thing I've learned from scrapbooking is don't add a crazy amount of tape. You know, your page will be in the protective sleeve, so it's not going to go anywhere. So you don't have to be like heavy-handed with the tape. Okay. Sorry, my arm's probably right in the camera view. I'm just trying to... Okay, so I have those there. This one I wanted right there. Let's try to get it straight. There. Okay, and then this can slide down like so. Okay, how's that one? And this one here I've got to stick down too. So this is an odd time for me to come on because I have been going on in the morning at 10 Eastern time, but because I wanted to print my pictures, that wasn't going to work out for me today. So, okay, so you can see my pages are coming together. And I'm okay that this is just a little bit higher. I can tear it down if I wanted to. But remember, they're going to be in the album across from each other. So, okay. So now let's see here. I've got my lobster. I've got my decking. I'm going to do something like that instead. So all my kids are over here, and Marty and I are on this side. And we got our poppies there, and we can bring this one down. So I have room for my title. I got room for some doodads there, and we've got this beautiful picture. I want those a little different heights. Actually, let me put that one up and this one down, and put that down a little bit. So I have a little space here for journaling, and what I did for my journaling was I have these from the Waterside Retreat paper, so I can do that. I don't really like that one though. That green is not doing it for me. And then I have these little doodads that I can do as well. I like this one. And let's see here. Oh, here's my journaling box that I wanted. Okay, so if this goes up a little bit, my journaling can go here, and I have room for, or I can push these up. Let me see here. I'm trying to make room. I'm going to have a cluster here. I've got my title, and I can have a little cluster. So I'm trying to find a spot to have another cluster of 3. Maybe along the bottom there. Yeah, no, they don't have to be even. Oh, I like that. So I staggered those. How's that look? And then I've got these little doodads here that I can put on. And then for my clusters, I have some fish netting. I gotta just pop out the rest of these little pieces. And I'll have to print my title next week to finish these. So if I do something like that, that looks pretty cool. And I have some shells in here. So I've got I ran two pieces together at the same time. So I think, do I want that down here with some of that? Yes, I think I do. I need to cover that little spot there anyways. I think I have one more kind. And I also have a big Adirondack chair. And I've got a seagull. Huh, that would be perfect. There's lots of seagulls. Okay, so it's coming. Here's my other shell. So we went to leave, and I had collected shells for, you know, the week while we were there, and I went to go out and get them, and just when I did, the worker there that was sweeping the deck off, like, swept them right in and picked them up and threw them right into the water. And I was like, ah! So, but they were right there. I could get them. Okay, so I kind of like that little cluster, and maybe I can put a little bit of seagrass there. I keep thinking the brown is there. I like that. I like it. What do you guys think? Should I move the netting back up here? I kind of like it against the white. And my title will be anchored to that. So I've got, let's see here, I can move my little grass up a little bit and hide that. See where I have the seam from where I cut it wrong. So I can hide that right there. Put my little seagull, put my shells down like so. And maybe do one more like that. Okay, I like that. And I don't think I really need to photo mount these. Do you think I should? If I did bring out my crumb cake and pecan pie. Let me see what that looks like, just so I know. Oh, here it is. I'm like, where did I put that? So this is not the two-tone cardstock. This is the regular crumb cake. I like it with the photo mount. So let me get my trimmer out. So I know my pictures are either 4x4s or they're 4x6s. So I need 4 1/4, which is perfect because if I cut my cardstock right down the middle, it'll be 4 1/4. So if I do 4 1/4 and 4 1/4, or 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Let's see here, that's 6. And that's the quarter mark right there. So that gives me 2. Do the same thing with this one. I am so excited to be scrapbooking again. I feel like I needed to gain some confidence, and because I was relying solely on the kits, which are great, and that got me started, and I'm going to still continue to use them, but I also feel like, okay, I can do this without the kit. Okay, let's see here. 4 1/4. And then what is this one here? This is 5 by 3, so it's going to be 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, let's see where we're at, because I might not want to do all of them. Okay. I just like the way the photo mount finishes it. It's an extra step, but I think it's worth it. Okay, so let me push this over. Oops, off the page. Push this back. I was walking away, guys. Okay, let me go ahead and tape these down so that they stick in place. This one looks a little bit bigger than 4 1/4. Okay, I think I'm going to do a smidge of a trim job on this one. Oh. I was really good this year too. I did not get sunburned, but I did get some color. But I pretty much stayed with a hat on, or I don't like to wear a lot of suntan lotion. It sometimes gives me a sun rash. So I tend to do like a long sleeve or just cover up. The feet are the worst to get sunburned, so I always cover those up with a towel while I'm sitting there. So it's funny to be out at the beach. And this place, it's because we're on the bay, we have like a private beach and decking. So, I mean, I pretty much just laid on a lounge chair all week. Okay, so those go there. Oh, I was going to do it like this. Yep, and I've got room down here for a little cluster, so that works. My paper is being finicky. I gotta just trim this one a smidge too. Couldn't possibly be my measurements. Okay, I have to go back to work tomorrow. Boo-hoo. Isn't that gorgeous? That was a sunrise. I got up that early, if you can believe it. I do like to sleep, but my daughter was out with the dog, and I had already gotten up, and I knew that it was the sunrise because I could see all the pretty colors. And she goes, "You gotta come out quick." So I did, and I was glad. Okay, so there's my, let's see here. I've got this one can be done. Ooh, I really love it when they're photo mounted, huh? And then I'll show you my paper that I bought, my printer paper, the photo paper that I bought today. All right, so we've got that. I think I have to cut one more. One more piece here. going to be 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Yeah, it's something about, well, plus I really wasn't sleeping that well. You know how it is when you're not in your own bed. I did have my own pillow, but the bed was hurting my back a little bit just because I was probably tossing and turning more than I normally do. All right. So if we do something like that, ooh, I like it, I like it. And then these here, this one's going to go up, down, and down like that. Okay. And what's that last one? This one here. What did I say this was? 5 by 3. I thought I cut one of those. Maybe not. So 5 by 3 1/4. Nope, 5 1/4 by 3 1/4. Okay. Yay. And my daughter Amy helped me figure out how to do a reel. Actually, she did it for me. So she told me a couple tips to do. So I am going to try those little tips and see if I can do more reels. She said, and I knew this, it's hard to make a reel when you have a live with a lot of talking. So she said, you know, do one with just stamping and no talking, and then it's easy to do. There. Okay, so there. All right, and this one I'd want to come down, touching the water. So I can have room for a cluster, and I can also do something here. So let me go ahead and tape these down. I like to add a lot of photos to my pages. And I have been using a service to print them, and that's fine, but then I realized, you know what? It's going to cost me a lot more money than if I just try to figure out my printer. Let's see here. This one I wanted to go down here. Like that. So and then I realized I have the app, and that made it all the difference in the world. Okay, let's bring that up. I spent all that time speckling my sand, and look, it hardly even shows. Oh well. And then this one. And then what I can do for next week is finish printing my photos, because I've already got my pages started with the layout, so it won't, once I have my my photos printed, I'll be able to pretty much rock and roll. So the photo app is a Canon, it's an app that matches my printer, the Canon. So it's a Canon print app, and that worked pretty swell. I think I am going to tuck that under like so. Actually, I think I'm going to cut that little line off. Yeah, these are all printed photos that I did myself. I think the color looks really good on them. And you know what? I also, from watching Karen Peterson on Stampin' Up, she just uses the, on your iPhone, the, you know, enhance button, and doesn't do a lot of the other kind of fussing with the settings. And I think I was over fussing with my settings. So I like this, but I'm gonna have to wait till my title comes on. So I have that, and then this piece here, I can go ahead and put that down. So it's a photo app, and I'll take a picture of it so that you can see it, because I'm using my phone to video right now, so I can't show you right this second. But I like my little cluster. These are the seashells are in the Scenic Coast, but the paper is it was from the spring catalog, the Easter glimmer paper. So I thought, well, you know what? That works, so I'm using it. And I think I'm gonna move my bird up. What do you think? Up like that or down? I liked it down, I guess. Okay, so like so. And then, so I need to do my clusters with my title, and I have an Adirondack. Oh, that's for my next page, my Adirondack chair. But I do have another fishnet, so let me poke that out, and we can add a cluster on the other side with shells, and I'm just poking this out here. Okay, note to self, do it over the trash bin next time and not over your scrapbook page. Right? Right. Okay, so if I have something like this, I could put that like so. Ooh, I like that with the journaling. I do. I like that. So something like that, and I can just put like where we are, and I don't usually write a whole lot. So I'm going to just tack it, because I don't like to glue it down until I write it for sure. And we'll do something like that, and then this underneath it. That looks pretty good. Okay, so there is, oh, I didn't attach these, hold on. And maybe what I'll do is try the journaling, try this suggestion of printing it out. I could print like a longer version and put it here, and then add some doodads. So I'm going to experiment with that on my thing. And this I should have, well, I really like that I can see the sand, but I don't know. It looks kind of lonely over here by itself. Do I have any more? I have more seashells, and I have a little bit more seagrass. I could pop in another seagrass. kind of like the bird next to the seagrass actually. So if I do something like that, and then my bird. There. I think that helps fill up that space a little bit more. Okay. What do you guys think? Not too bad, huh? There's my 2-page spread. And let me show you the paper that I used. Of course, I threw it way over here. Okay, so I had been using, hold on a minute, I hit something on my computer. There we go. I thought I lost you. All right, so I had been using Staples brand, which is fine, but then Erin suggested Epsom Premium Photo Paper Glossy. So this is 4x6, and then in my app on my phone, I can pick any size photo that I want. So on a couple of these, see, I forgot to say I wanted 4x4, so it printed 4x6. But I could say 2x2, and it would print on my 4x6, but it would print 2x2. So I can get a couple of different, if I ran it back through, you know. So I'm kind of excited about that. And then the other one is, and I didn't get a chance to use this, but I will because we have a big family photo that I don't want to just put on the 4x6. So this is the Epsom Photo Paper Glossy, and it's 8.5 by 11, and I got 50 sheets of it. So I can go into Word, import my pictures, you know, and print several at a time and then trim them out. Or like I'm gonna do our big family photo, I might do 8x10 or 5x7, or print it on the 8.5 by 11 and then trim it to the way I want. So that's going to be next week's, so I can continue on. I'm going to work on my title and figure out here. I just want to say a few words, nothing much, because I'm going to type it out down here. Maybe I don't even need this one. Maybe what I need is maybe I need the boats, the guy on the boat. Or I could do the shell. So there's a little bit, oh, and I have this anchor too. I like that. So instead of doing that photo box, I still liked that photo box. Or, not sure where it went. Oh, this here, this little box here. I do like that. So I can decide, do I want to print like a full title and just have like the date and where we are here, and then down here type, you know, who everybody is and more of the story. I'm not a big journaler. I really don't like typing my thoughts like that. But I will say my mom has this scrapbook of her, and she did it later in life, because you know how they had those photo albums that the pages, they stick down on the magnet. Well, we peeled them all off, and she backed them onto cardstock and arranged them all, and then put a little tag with our old tag punch and put who's in the photo and the date. So now my mom just turned 86, and you know, she can't remember anybody, but they're all tagged with the names, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's just wonderful. So, and I could even put my shells over here, so I have like a mirror here. I like that. And there. So I like that little cluster there with the netting. I do like that. Okay, so I showed you the Epsom, and then all I did was on my pictures, I went into my iPhone, and they have the camera. You know, you go into your photo, and then up in the upper right hand corner, well, you can hit crop first, and up in the upper right hand corner, there's like a box that looks like a rectangle. And let me see here. It looks like, and then it has like the square and another square, something like that, up in the corner in the right hand part of the phone. So if you click that, then it opens your crop, and I hit square on all of these that are square prints. So then when I went to print, it didn't matter if I picked 3 by 3, 4 by 4, I could pick 5 by 5. It doesn't matter because I've already said in my photo that I want it to be square. So I didn't have to recrop it again when I went to print. So I just did that. I either left them 4 by 6 or I did a square. That was it. And then and then down, so in the same window, you got crop and you have adjust. And then I hit the magic wand, which color adjusted everything. And usually I do get rid of, brighten it up and get rid of highlights and do all this other jazz. And I don't need to do that. That's what I learned. I just can hit that blue, the magic wand, and let it do it. So that is all. Let me come back and say goodbye to you. I'm so excited. I got one done. I've got my family one. Oh, wait till you see the next layout I have. It's going to be great. I'm really excited to do that one. So let me come back. Thanks all for jumping on with me tonight. I got to take some pictures of this one. I'm going to finish my title and my journaling and make my other cluster and take some photos so I can put it on my blog. And also I want to, on the YouTube thumbnail, I got to fix that. I was like fussing with it because I had it on the wrong account. So, but I obviously didn't have my page done either, so I didn't have anything to take a thumbnail for. So I am excited. Let me just see if I have any questions. Debbie says to move the net. She liked that, so that's good. And she said that the only time she's ever an early riser is when she's at the beach. And Cindy, I will post the name of my photo app in the comments, in the more. But it's for Canon. I think like Epsom has their own app, probably Brother, but Brother uses a lot of ink. The Canon one did, and honestly, I've never even used it. I've always just said print, and then I was wondering why I can never print photos and have them come out the size I want. Well, when I just use the print, like when you say share and I say share to my printer, then it thinks it's a full 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So there's no opportunity to change it. But on the photo app, I can change my size. I can tell it what kind of paper I have. I can tell it, I think I can say what to write on the back if I wanted something printed on the back. So pretty slick. And I just discovered that this morning, which is why I postponed this morning. I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta figure that out, and I needed to get my paper today too. So, all right, you guys, I'm gonna let you go. It's Sunday night. I gotta go back to work after a week off. Boo-hoo. Sorry, I'm just kidding, work people. I love my job. No, just kidding. And yeah, I will see you on Thursday night for cards. I am going to the retirement system on Thursday morning to file my retirement paperwork. Ah, yay! And then it's also my dad's birthday and we're taking him out for ice cream. So hopefully I'll be on time, but if not, I will push it back. So I will definitely be here Thursday. Alrighty? So thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.